thanks for doing this. Reason why I wanted to do it is because I like to cut, right? So I think it's a pretty cool project. So I thought it might just be better to for you to explain things, obviously, because you probably know it the best. So for everybody there watching, this is Ben. He's the principal at Framework's Real Estate Group. And safe to say you specialize in new construction, pre-sale. I mean, you've got an extensive background in this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we've met almost 13, 14 years ago. I think at the time we were working for Blue Realty, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So we've been
Yeah.
knowing each other for quite a while.
Yeah.
And each one, what I find is it's really interesting. You think you have a path figured out in real estate, and then life takes you in a different path, and then you continue from there. And here we
Right.
are now.
Yeah.
I remember you were doing a lot of funky lofts. That's
Yeah.
what I remember at the beginning.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I love those properties for sure.
And then from there, kind of what happened, I was first year of real estate, I was thinking I really like pre-sales. I like new construction. I like what new construction brings to the market, the way you can sell it. And I decided to take that path. That was almost 2007, almost 16 years. And from there, my career kind of evolved. I worked for a few years with a developer, a big developer in town called West Bank, and worked on some really cool towers that you are probably familiar with, like 1550 Alberni or the Butterfly or Telus Garden, and got a lot of experience in that pre-sale market. And it was always in the back of my mind. Me and my business partner, David, who also happened to be one of my best friends, he was always running on the marketing end, and I was focusing in sales. And 2019 came, and we're like, you know what? We've been talking about this for many years, and we're thinking about how about we try and do something of our own? And that's kind of how Framework was born.
Okay.
The vision was to create a project marketing company, but with a very focused approach into very unique projects. Architecture drives both David and I, unique architecture, working with developers that are open to pushing the envelope, working with developers that are open to fun ideas, and kind of Framework started taking its first steps in 2019. And then shortly after COVID hit, and that was quite a curveball to both David and myself, but you know what? We were able to overcome it. I think it was really interesting. We have bet on the market in 2020, and we were working on a project at the time called Habitat, with a collaboration between three developers: Port, Frabric, who's selling the cut, and Hudson. And we were literally swimming upstream. We were the first project in Vancouver to launch because we knew there's going to be really kind of that pent-up demand. And it did pretty well. Within 3 to 4 months, we sold out. And then you start seeing that wave of pre-sale and resale of projects just selling out. And if you remember that, really the first summer of 2020, things were just flying off the shelves. It was just a market that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So from there, our business kind of evolved. We started growing, but very consciously. And really our focus has been East Vancouver. I used to live down Commercial Drive for almost 8 years, and I always loved East Vancouver. I find East Vancouver, the people that live in East Vancouver, the type of architecture that you can get away with in East Vancouver, I love the grittiness of East Vancouver. I like the funkiness of East Vancouver, and so does my partner. And we started focusing in East Vancouver and started farming the East Vancouver community for developers that are, one, understand the area, two, are open to develop in the area, and three, that build quality product. That was very important for us. East Vancouver, because at the time land was somewhat affordable, you would have an assortment of developers that would buy a piece of land, develop, and it wouldn't be the best product. And you've seen it as a realtor. You walk through some homes and you're like, oh, that feels a little off. And that was important for us. You know, it was important for us to stand behind our product, to stand behind what we're marketing. And this was our journey through East Vancouver. We started With Habitat, it did really well. We then moved into another project that was a collaboration between Frabric, again, the developer that's building the Cut, and Hudson, who it's called Assembly and Strathcona. There's 40 townhomes and garden flats,
Right.
and that did exceptionally well. I believe within 2 weeks of hitting the market, we were 90% sold, and then we literally went through the remainder of the inventory shortly after.
Yeah.
Our journey through East Vancouver is really just starting. The project that we've kind of connected, I haven't seen you for a while, was the Cut. So the Cut is an interesting one. It's a big piece of land. It's actually one of the largest land assemblies in East Vancouver. It's 1.25 acres. And the biggest thing about the Cut is really its location. It's a few blocks from Trout Lake. It's a 7-minute walk from 2 SkyTrain stations, and it's a 10-minute walk to Commercial Drive. We're seeing a lot of development up and down Nanaimo Street. The city has created a Grandview community plan, which allows developers to take 2-3 homes and basically build a building or a townhome development or whatnot. And we're seeing more and more of that development coming up. But what's really special about the Cut is really what the developers have chosen to do with this piece of land. They could have done a simple 6-story wood frame building, and they would have done a great job, but it wouldn't have what we're doing here, which I think is really, really needed in the community, and I'll tell you why. One, townhomes. We're seeing there's a missing middle right now in East Vancouver. So you have a couple, a young family with 1 kid. They live in a 2-bedroom condo. A 2-bedroom condo right now in East Vancouver, not in a brand new building, is going to be between 800,000 and $1 million. It's around 700 to 750 square feet. Let's say they want to have another kid, or they want to have more space. The next step for these guys from that 2-bedroom condo, they want to buy a house, but a house in that community is going to go around 1.8 to start with, standard lot, 33 by 122, but it's not going to be anywhere close to livable, to how their condo is finished. So what we're finding is there's a missing middle. There's the 3-bedroom condos, which we have some. Those are going to be running at around 1.1, 1.2 million. But what really drives these young families is into that townhome type of living. So you have your condo, your townhome, and then your single family home.
And there really isn't that many 3-bedroom townhomes and condos in East Van to begin with.
There's not a lot of those in general, and there's not a lot of quality of those if you kind of distill it. So if you want to buy a 3-bedroom townhome, there are a few throughout East Vancouver. Yeah. But if you actually go down and see them, it goes back to what we discussed earlier. They're so-so. They're not that amazing. A lot of them don't have air conditioning. A lot of them are older, poorly designed. The finishing options are, the finishings in these are dated. So if you're looking to kind of step up, elevate your life into the next step, there's not a lot of options.
Right.
So going back into that kind of missing middle, we were looking at, okay, so there's a shortage of these types of homes. How do you design a home that will fill and answer these types of home buyers? But then you go back and you're like, okay, guys, so if you're looking for a 3-bedroom, how big do you want your 3-bedroom to be? And most people will be like 1,600 square feet, which makes sense. People want a 1,600 square feet 3-bedroom. The problem right now is with how much it costs to build a 1,600 square feet 3-bedroom, it basically adds up to around $1.8 million. So there's no market for that. So we push our architect. We're working with Integra on this project, and we push our architect to create these 3-bedrooms with amazing rooftop patios. All the townhomes have absolutely gorgeous rooftop patios, and we pushed him to design them at 1,300 square feet. And what we find is that 1,300 square feet size is the perfect size to hit that $1.58 million for a 3-bedroom without hitting that 1.8 of those large townhomes. And it's still somewhat affordable. Now, affordable is a very loaded word right now in today's market.
But I know what you mean. I mean,
it's somewhat still affordable.
It accomplishes the gap from the 2-bedroom condo to the single family home. right? So
That's exactly.
you find your way right in there. And I mean, I know often people want to make a big jump real early, but real estate takes time. So you climb that ladder as you will, right?
And that's really what we're trying to create, that next step in home ownership towards that. There's this amazing goal that a lot of folks have. I want to own a piece of land. And the challenge with Vancouver market is that it's a very expensive goal to get to. And in order for most people, not everyone, to get to that single family home, there needs to be some steps that needs to be taken. And what we found is that townhome step is really what's missing. There's not a lot of options. Right. So we created the cut. We brought the first phase to the market. So the cut is basically broken into two phases: 1.25 acres, 86 homes, garden flats on the bottom, townhomes on top. And we started with the first phase. The first phase was only 36 townhomes and garden flats, and that was on the Central Valley Greenway. Some people know it, some people don't. It's the largest bike route. It goes all the way from New Westminster to downtown.
Right. So
it's literally on the bike route, and some of it is facing west towards Nanaimo. We brought it to the market in June of this year, and quickly we've hit our pre-sale goal, which is around 65%. We shortly after did a few more sales, and we hit that 75% mark and shut it down.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just like, well, why do you shut down if you're selling? And this is something that some folks might not be aware of, is really the rise in construction costs.
Right.
So developers, the way it works is they will start selling, then they'll go out to tender to their builder and electrician and the floor guy and be like, okay, how much is it going to cost to actually build this building? And what we find a lot of times within that 6 months of tendering process in the last few years, since COVID really, construction costs, they have some kind of a guesstimate of what it will cost, but a lot of times that keeps increasing. Yeah. And the big challenge is once it increases, it really eats away on their profit and the feasibility of actually finishing up the project. You see some developers that are not that experienced, they sell out a building, they go out to tender, and then I can't build it for what I sold it for. Right. That's why we keep 25% of the first phase, which we're going to release later on closer to completion, which is kind of when you know how much this building is going to cost to build. Yeah. And that's the vision. So we hit that goal rather quickly, which told us, hey, there's a market for these ground-oriented 3-bedroom townhomes, garden flats. There's a market for that. We kind of went dormant for the summer, got to enjoy the beach, took it easy, and then now we're starting to ramp up for phase 2. Phase 2 is really unique in a way where it's off Nanaimo. Most of the new developments you're going to see today and in the years to come are on main arteries. The city looks at the main artery, they say this is where we want to put all our density, and then where the main artery is, we start building it up. That's really what the big thing about phase 2 is. It's off a main artery, which is Nanaimo. The majority of the project is again facing the Central Valley Greenway, right, which is a bike route. Yeah. And then you have a portion of the project faces Kamloops Street, which is a block to Van Tech Secondary School, yeah, which is amazing. If some people know about it.
It's a great spot. I actually, after visiting you the other day, I'd driven by it before, but I never really went on to Kamloops and the Greenway. So yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal spot.
It's a little secret. And what we find, yeah, is that a lot of folks wouldn't know about it because before there was only single family homes there. So if you don't have a friend that lives there, you have nothing to look at. Right. So that's really the focus now. We have a variety of, if it's 1 bedrooms, those are starting at $599. Again, a really sharp price point for a 1 bedroom. So if you're looking at home ownership for brand new construction, there's really not that many options for a brand new true 1 bedrooms under 600. There's just none. Your other option, you're going to have some 2-bedroom townhomes. We find that there's quite a bit of demand for those. Those are going to run around 1.269. And then you have the 3 bedrooms, which is really what most people that come through the door are interested in. Those are 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. They're 3 level. The top floor has a master ensuite, so it's disconnected from the 2 bedrooms below, which is where you'll have your kids or an office or a guest room, and then you'll also have the main living room at the entrance. The homes are air conditioned. That's a big thing.
Yeah, and every townhouse has the roof deck.
Every townhouse has a roof deck.
Right.
This is an interesting concept that we started at Habitat. We started focusing on creating extensive outdoor spaces. And we saw that in COVID, if you remember. Anything that had a large outdoor space sold instantly.
Yeah.
And what
sure.
COVID kind of did is it put a focus on the importance of outdoor space. Now, we're past COVID now, thank God, but it showed the emphasis of how much people locally appreciate outdoor space. So the townhomes here, and like all homes have outdoor space, but they vary between 100 square feet to 500 square feet. So really, really beautiful outdoor spaces. Interiors, also really, really special. I can show it to you here, but I think what will be helpful is we'll put some renderings for you to share with your followers after. We went with a really interesting interior design. It's called Japandi, which is a combination of Japanese and Scandinavian design. And the idea of that, the philosophy behind it, is really what you call tone on tone on tone. So you create a very calm interior where anyone that moves in, if they want a splash of color, they typically do it either with furniture, with pieces of art, with whatever appliance they choose to. So what we're doing is we're not coming with a bold color statement. We'll leave it to the buyers to do it. And we found that we saw that in a different project that we worked on. We only offered one color scheme and it did really well. It was somewhat muted and calm. And then we've used the same type of approach here, and it's been getting great reviews. I think one of the big things that folks like to ask me is like, why would you buy in a pre-sale? Why wouldn't you buy resale? Like, you know, why wait for 2.5 years? And then it's an interesting question, and it's an interesting time to answer it. So today, if you go and get a mortgage rate, let's say for 5 years, walk into the bank, you're looking at around 6.49 on a 5-year mortgage. That's if you buy something that's ready, if you buy something that you enjoy, something that you like. That's kind of what the going rate is right now. What's interesting at the cut, we've been able to achieve a few rate holds with different banks. And a good example would be BMO. If you walk through the doors here right now, you put a hold on one of the homes, BMO will hold the rate for 36 months at 6.69. So what's really interesting is a lot of folks are really betting on interest rates either stabilizing or going down next year. They don't want to lock their mortgage today at 6.49. They want to be a little more, they want to gamble some more, as some will say. So the way this kind of pre-sale rate hold works is you buy a unit today, your mortgage rate doesn't start. You're only required to put a down payment, and we're doing 15% on all of our townhomes right now. And once you finish paying your down payment, there's no additional payments, and then your mortgage only kicks in when the project is ready. Right. The cut will be ready in the summer of 2026. So you have 2.5 years to kind of ride the market. You're in the market, and once you get closer to completion, around 130 days to be more precise, you step back into the BMO office and you're like, guys, what are the rates today? In hopes, again, no one has a crystal ball. If you're locked at 6.69, and let's say the rates in 3 years have shot up to 7%, just say, you're still locked at 6.69. That creates some kind of a security blanket for you. If rates go down, that's kind of like, how do you call it, the cream, the bonus. If rate goes down, you basically renegotiate your rate with whatever BMO is offering at the time.
Right.
So the thing about pre-sale that we're finding is really appealing to a lot of the folks that are walking through the doors now. One, they can't find anything they like on the resale market because people are not selling. They're like, the market is too volatile. I don't think I'll be able to get my price. I don't think I can find anything that I like. So they're just not selling. So you see it on the resale market. There's just not a lot of great inventory right now. And that's the truth of the matter, especially townhomes, which to start with are also low on inventory. So they walk through our doors, they get to pick a home that they like, and then from there they get to lock their interest rate, so they know more or less what their payments are going to be. And then they also get to ride the market for the next 2.5 to 3 years with a home that they like, brand new. They get to pick their finishing options, they get to get state-of-the-line appliances, the finishing, the outdoor space, and then they complete in 2.5 years. And we're seeing more and more and more of these guys walking through the door because they can't find what they're looking for, and they don't want to enter the market right now. They're content
Yeah.
renting
Well,
and staying where they are.
yeah, and that's a great program that BMO offers, and RBC has one too. And just for those listening and watching, in the past, people would pay their deposit for their pre-sale and then wait until a few months before completion to line up their finances, and you're not really sure of what the rate's going to be. And certainly, if the market has taken a dip, like that's when the banks are doing the appraisals as well. So there was always that little bit of uncertainty to an extent, just a little bit. So with these programs, and I think, and especially today, to echo what you're saying, it offers a lot of security, and you're still in the market, right? So yeah, so it's I think it's a really great time to be considering pre-sale. I mean, it always is. I mean, some people just want new, and that's who they are. Other people want something now, and then that's where they find themselves in the resale. So each to their own on that. But where we are today, it's definitely something worth exploring if you hadn't thought about it.
100%. I think to summarize, if anyone is interested, they should reach out to you. And where we are right now is we're literally just starting previews. So folks are coming through the door, we're providing pricing. The way it works is we set up 30-minute private appointments throughout in our sales gallery, where you get to spend some time with one of our home specialists. They'll walk you through the entire process. They'll walk you through your finishing selections, the different pricing on different homes, and really, as we get closer to mid to end of November, we're probably going to start sales. So it's a great time for us to chat. If any of your folks are interested, definitely reach out to you.
Yep.
And then from there, we will start this process. It's an exciting times, like with every market, there's always opportunities. I feel that whatever we're pricing at the cut right now, I think we would have been at a much higher pricing if we were at the frothiness of the market. That's right. The truth of the matter. What's nice about working with a developer that understands the market like Frabric, they have priced these homes very competitively. They are not looking to squeeze every dollar from the market. They understand the challenge of affordability. Mm-hmm. And it's nice when you're working with a seller that understands that, a seller that gets it. It's not only about the dollars and cents. A good example, literally last weekend, Frabric has thrown an unbelievable pumpkin patch on October 24th, I believe, 23rd. Mm-hmm. We've had an outreach to the local community, and we had almost 2,500 people come through one of the homes on Kamloops Street where we were giving away free pumpkins. It was one of the nicest events that I've ever participated in. It started with the farmers market, and we just had people from the community just being so thankful that we're coming in. They've supported this development, and this was our way to thank them by giving them free pumpkins. We created this amazing pumpkin patch kind of experience, and like things like that, just give back. And that's really what Frabric is all about, is really integrating with the community. They live in East Vancouver. They are East Vancouver. So for us as a company, it's always enjoyable to work with a developer that is so passionate about giving and not just taking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And even in this area, as you were saying earlier, there's going to be a lot more developments coming up along the NIMO. So I know when I'm talking with people, right, they're often like, where can we, everyone's looking for a deal, quote unquote, but they're like, where are the good opportunities? And typically, like, one place that demonstrates opportunities is areas that are being developed. And of course, around this area being mostly single family homes, like this, it's just going to continue to grow, and the more amenities will come, and you're already close to Trout Lake. So anyways, I'm a big fan of the development. So, just to recap, East Van, Trout Lake, deposit structure, 15%, and that is spread out over
1 year.
Over 1 year. Mm-hmm. And then estimated completion around 2025.
Summer of 2026.
Summer
Summer of 2026.
Summer of 2026.
Yeah.
Okay, and then previews going on now. So of course,
Yeah.
anybody with information, reach out and we'll get you an appointment in at the sales center where you can really experience the full package. And you guys did a great job there. They've got this really cool black room when you go in, and they really set the stage with that. So it's a great development. It's a great location. I'm in East Van as well. I'm actually a block from Habitat. So
cool.
I love the developer. I'm familiar with Assembly as well. So Fabric's great developer. Ben and Framework and his team, they do an awesome job. So anyways, thanks. I think we can leave it there, Ben, and I really appreciate your time this morning and explaining the development, explaining the cut.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Glenn, thanks for having me. Cheers.
Okay. All right. Have a great day. We'll speak
Cheers.
soon.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.